Here is why you should care about the fighting that is going on in Sudan. What's happening there is more than meets the eye. And it's time for the world to discuss the actual truth of what is going on there.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? Together Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. So today's video we want to talk about the crisis that is going on in Sudan and how this thing is affecting the entire Africa and will I say even black people. It's a bigger discussion, so you want to watch this video to the end, okay? So if you don't know what's going on, there is a crisis going on in Sudan, almost like a war going on in the capital of Sudan between a paramilitary group and the military in Sudan. And this whole fight is based on the transition of Sudan. Anyway, guys, I need you guys to see this video just to get like a little content and then we'll come back to more.
What's going on in Sudan?
Only one still water bottle left. This is the one and only one, and everything is empty now.
Basic necessities are running thin in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum as paramilitary forces battle Sudan's army for control of the city.
Just this is our new normal now.
At least 97 people have been killed so far, with another 365 wounded, despite residents being told to stay indoors for a third day.
Everyone is trying to escape the city, and the bus is going to Madani, which is south of Khartoum.
For now, the two sides agreed to a temporary ceasefire, with the clash boiling down to a feud between two army generals over plans to transition the country from military to civilian rule.
So clearly, so that's what's happening presently in Sudan. And this has struck a bigger conversation because we all know that when things go down in Africa, it does not like it's not always the way it seems. There's always an underlying issue that is going on here. I need you guys to see this video and then we'll talk.
Here is why you should care about the fighting that is going on in Sudan. What's happening there is more than meets the eye. And it's time for the world to discuss the actual truth of what is going on there. America and Russia are at it again, just as they did 60 years ago during the Cold War when they fought proxy wars right here in Africa, leading to the death of thousands of innocent Africans. They are at it again in Sudan, fighting a proxy war. Let me explain. Two factions of the Sudanese military are fighting each other. One of them is led by Lieutenant General Mohammed Hamdan, head of the paramilitary group known as Rapid Support Forces. The other faction is led by the Sudanese Army Chief, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. So why are they fighting? This is where Russia and USA come into the picture. You see, in the last couple of months, Russia has finalized a deal with Sudan to establish Russia's naval base in Sudan's Red Sea coast. America is not too happy with that. Actually, they're furious. America's ambassador to Sudan, John Godfrey, expressly warned Sudan not to seal that deal with Russia, but they're going ahead and doing just that. And so when the paramilitary unit began fighting the other faction of the army, that wasn't happening in a vacuum. The big problem is that you're not going to hear this in the mainstream media. Neither are you going to hear a lot of African governments voicing this, which is very unfortunate because Africa must learn to speak its truth and stand on this truth because truth will set you free. So it is left to the African people, we the African people, to speak this truth and tell America and Russia to get off Africa, to get their hands off Africa. The days of the Cold War, the days of the shenanigans of the Cold War are completely over, and they cannot fight proxy wars in Africa at the expense of innocent African lives. That has to stop. The fighting in Sudan must stop. The puppet masters must stop their evil, diabolic games. This is why Russia's presence in Sudan, or America's presence in Sudan, or even China's presence in Sudan should concern you, irrespective of whichever African country you live in. In February 2022, a Russian cargo plane stood silently in Khartoum International Airport. Interestingly, the plane's manifest stated that it was carrying cookies for export. Now, Sudan is known for many exports. But exporting cookies is not one of them. When Sudanese officials inspected the plane, they found cookies. They found many colorful boxes of cookies, but they found more. Hidden beneath the cookie boxes were wooden crates containing gold. 1 ton of Sudanese gold. If that shocks you, brace yourself for this. By July 2022, a military aircraft had smuggled gold from Sudan to the Syrian port city of Latakia at least 15 times. Russia has a military base in this port city. So why is this gold being smuggled out instead of being exported through the rightful channels? Could it be to evade paying tax and in so doing steal from the amazing people of Sudan? Let me remind you that Sudan's GDP is $34.3 billion, while Russia's GDP is $1.8 trillion. So why would operatives from a country this rich smuggle riches from a country this poor? This is a sad story of Africa. We keep walking away from one toxic relationship straight into another toxic relationship. If it's not US exploiting us, it's Russia exploiting us. If it's not Russia, it's China. If it's not China, it's any of the other countries in the West.
So clearly this brother broke the situation down, and clearly we know what is going on right now in Sudan, and this is something that has happened over and over and over in Africa. I have a lot to say, but there's also one more video I want us to see before I share my thought on this.
So remember when they said Africans do not like each other, right? This is what they actually mean in regard to what is currently happening in Sudan. Ethiopians wouldn't let Nigerians pass through their borders to get their ways back to Nigeria. We all know there is a crisis or war going on in Sudan right now, to the extent that even the Sudanese themselves are fleeing outside of Sudan. The Sudanese who are living in Khartoum are fleeing to their various villages. Almost everybody left Khartoum at the moment, which is the capital of Sudan, except for the international students, most of which are Africans. Some of them are women. They are left stranded in Sudan right now. All they do at the moment is to lie on the floor. Some of them are sick, some of them are injured allegedly. I have spoken with a lot of Nigerian students in Sudan. A lot of them have spoken out on social media. What they said is that one of the safest and easiest way to follow in order to leave Sudan at the moment is to get your way out from Khartoum to the Ethiopian border. And Nigerians try to follow that way with some other international students. Ethiopian immigration allowed every other nationality to pass through their country. Somali, Kenya, Djibouti, Yemen, and every other person except for Nigerians. They asked them to apply for a visa, which they did 3 days ago. Nobody is even looking into their visa application at the moment because there is a public holiday for it in Ethiopia. So they asked them to go back to Sudan while other people are passing. Even the Sudanese are passing, but they wouldn't let Nigerians pass. So they are indirectly asking them to go back and die, that we do not care about you, we only care about our neighbors. And remember at the beginning of Russia-Ukraine conflict, where all those white people wouldn't let black people pass through their borders. We came out in thousands on social media calling them racist. Ethiopia is giving us the same vibe. So we are using this medium to call on the attention of the Ethiopian government and the entire African Union to look into this case immediately. Thank you.
Let me know your thought about this video down in the comment section. Go ahead and share your thought down in the comment section, because that's what we do here. We have conversation. So go ahead and share your thought. But please, please, please do it respectfully. We don't disrespect each other here to air our opinion. We air our opinion respectfully here, okay? So here's my own thought on this. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. Wherever there is a resources or scared, the West is always involved. American government, the Russia government, the UK government, the Germany, the France, they must be involved in this. And what I don't get now, which some of you guys pointed out in the couple of videos that I did about Russia and China being in Africa, talking about that, are they even good? Are they angels too? Because we saw what the Americans and the British did to Africa. Why are we still trusting these people that need us more than we need them in Africa? Why don't we as African come together and make African a strong nation, a strong continent, and then grow? We have all the natural resources that we need. We have all the manpower that we need. We have a beautiful weather. So why can't we stay on our own and sustain ourselves? Why do we keep looking outward for Western support, Western influence? And why do we do that to ourselves? And this is one of the things, and even looking at what it was happening, the other young man reported about how Nigerians were not allowed into Ethiopia. They're asking Nigerians to go get visa in the motherland. On the motherland, we're asked to get visas to travel across Africa. And the same, these people that is asking us to get visas, the people from the Western world goes to these African countries without a visa. Make this make sense that Africans in African can go to African countries without visa, but foreigners that are not from the continent can travel to those countries without visa. Make it make sense. And this is where I feel like we as black people, and that's one of the reasons I love social media. Social media has helped us to really digest a lot of information. I personally have got to know so much because of social media, and you guys here on my channel has educated me a lot on this platform. So I feel like I'm grateful for it because it's helping us to know more. And I feel like we should share videos out like this just to educate more Africans, because a lot of Africans don't know how much we've been brainwashed and whitewashed to make us even hate ourselves and hate among ourselves. That we see more value with the West rather than see more value with us. That we see ourselves in Africa more than for threat, like especially even with black people, even in the black community, we are so guided when it comes to your own brother, your own kinsman, and you feel like you can't trust them, but you can trust people that in history they've come to destroy, and they don't even like us just because of our skin color. Like, it's so sad that this is happening, and I feel like this is an information that should pass out. Please go ahead and share your thought about this video down in the comment section, because that's what we do here. We have conversation. Share this video. It's very important for us to share this video so that this information, because most times they come when things like this come out like this, they come out in disguise. A lot of people, a lot of Africans, a lot of black people don't get to know. They push out this narrative, this propaganda, and we run with it in the media. But thank God for social media. Now we're knowing what's going on. We're having the conversation. We're hearing each other out, and we're knowing who is coming for us. So go ahead and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of this conversation, for somebody to know what is really going on in Sudan. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like this video. Please, please, please smash the like button, because that helps YouTube to push out my content, and that will be you also supporting me for more people to see this content. So smash the like button. With that all said, I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.